so we're Destrier. We're a metal band from Saskatoon.
I'm Jordan Hodgson. I'm the guitarist.
I'm Alex Vanesti. I play drums.
Mike Boo, guitarist.
Jonathan McKell, vocals.
So I guess getting into how we named the band, it was actually me and then old guitarist Jordan, who came before this Jordan, and we met at a party, and we kind of were both listening to Lamb of God, and then we started jamming together, and one day I was reading Game of Thrones at the time, and Destrier kind of came up a few times in the first book, and I just thought it was a cool word, and I mean, it means war horse, just archaic English, so we kind of just decided to go with that.
So we've been a band collectively for about 3 years as of this month, like somewhere in April, I think is when Mike and I and then our old bassist Drew came into the picture and kind of made it a completed thing. And then before that, it was Alex and Jordan for how long?
I don't know, about a year probably. Like I said, we were just jamming. It was in my dad's house, in my brother's room. You know, really hot, small room, and just covering Lamb of God songs pretty much. So.
I think you had 2 originals by the time that we came in.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's back when we had 5 guys in a bedroom.
Yeah.
So we've had a few things be speed bumps in this band, and one of them is a need for new members a lot of the time. We lost our first bassist. He quit the band a year and a half in or so. And we had a bit of a time where we didn't do anything there. We were out of jam space, out of member, and out a bit of motivation before we got back together and going again. And then you have times where you have to add a new member and get used to them and get used to their jam style and like what they want to write, what kind of music they want to make, and it really slows you down. And we've had to do that again recently. We just recently added Jordan to the band here.
So I think it was like 4 months or something that we just didn't do shit. It was like a whole summer there where part of it was motivation, part of it was just slow going, and just like we didn't have a bassist and we didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't write any material, I think, during that time. And then we got Clay in there and started kind of, like Mike was saying, just getting used to that with writing style and how people contribute and things like that. And then the next member change that we had was one of our founding members, which got brought up earlier, Jordan Wenzina, and he moved to Drumheller just this December 2014 there. So he wrote like a huge bulk of our material, and then so we kind of had to find someone else, and we had a huge heck of a time just talking to different guitarists and seeing if they fit with our kind of like band philosophy, and also if they can actually play their instrument. And we had some very interesting auditions in that time. And then I don't even know, how did Alex approach you?
Hey man, we need a guitarist. You want to come and be in a band?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, cool. What should I learn? Okay, well I've learned this Lamb of God song and a couple of our stuff, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was getting frustrating screwing around with Kijiji and finding nobody, pretty much. So it was...
At this point, we'd sorted through a lot of different personalities and different skill levels and different styles and everything. But one of the things was we were trying to look for somebody who just got along with the band more than was an excellent guitarist. And I think found that in Jordan.
Yeah, it's probably worth mentioning. I would have asked Jordan sooner if I thought he would actually be willing to drive. I thought it was kind of a reach. And then, Jordan's super stoked to drive an hour and a half, so he's super committed. We're excited about that. So
that's the thing with Clay, too, because when we were looking back to the time where we had to get a new bassist, I had worked with Clay in Echo Serenity before, but I mean, he's out in roster, and so I didn't ask him for a while either, because I didn't really think he'd be into it, and he had another band going on, too, so... That's still one thing. Yeah, he still does. So the distance is a thing, because half our band lives hour and a half on opposite ends of Saskatoon. So they always have to drive in, and then, I mean, last-minute shows that sometimes we get called for don't really work out the same. If we've got people that need to come in, we can't jam last minute and things like that. So I guess those are just more obstacles with just being a metal band in Saskatchewan too, just like or in Saskatoon, and needing people nearby and actually having a pool of players to pick from, and again, all those things. So from being like efficient at playing your instrument and also just not being a complete wiener, someone that we could actually get along with and we know we want to be around and have a good time with and either go on tour with, or all those things. We don't want the band to implode later, so we definitely made really careful selections, and even though it took a while, that was definitely an obstacle we had to navigate through. But yeah, so yeah, again with the Saskatchewan thing, recording is a big thing too, trying to find people that we can record our music with, and all those different factors in there. There's not a huge plethora of people that are going to record what we want at a
price we can afford.
Yeah, price we can afford, and also just the style that we want to do it in, and then if we have to travel to do that and add more cost and time and everything else, and we haven't really made that much recordings yet, so I mean, we're still figuring that out, and that's always tough to navigate. And venues too, I think that's a huge obstacle.
I was about to speak to that one.
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, just finding places that we can play and that actually want to host metal shows is, another tough one. I mean, you can get in with some people once in a while, but doesn't always work. And I mean, lately too, even having trouble with just last minute show cancellations, which are out of everyone's control sometimes, but it's tough to deal with. I mean, when you're expecting to play and then don't. So
The venue's closed.
yeah,
What do you do?
flood damage.
Flood damage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think too is how often that I know I'd like to play is, versus how many venues we have in the city. It's not like we're some huge center where we could do a gig every week, but it'd be at a different venue, and then we won't burn out the venue, and we'd get like a new audience or something. But it's kind of trying to pick and choose between when we want to play and how often we should play in order to maybe draw a crowd or get exposure in different areas. And even trying to break out in other cities in Saskatchewan is actually more difficult than I thought it would be. We played Alberta before we've ever played Regina. We still haven't played Regina. Hey, Regina.
Yeah.
We
Shout out to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so how some of the obstacles have affected me on a personal level, I think just for sometimes the time that I'll put into trying to book something, if it just doesn't work out, I don't know, I'm pretty irritable when it comes to things being organized and following through and whatever else. So, I mean, when you try to organize like 5 different people and try to get them all in one place at one time, and then connect with the venues, and then like people promoting, and then trying to like do your own promotion, and maybe you're making posters and whatever else. I don't know. It takes up time, I guess, and when things don't go right, it sucks. So there's that. Then yeah, the downtime. I really don't like inconsistency. So for me, those times we've had like not much going on because of just band members leave for whatever reason, and like even on like the best of terms, like with Jordan when he left, it was awesome. We had so much notice, and we still couldn't find somebody. We wanted to just have like a seamless transition because we knew about this months in advance, and we started like auditioning people before our last show with Jordan, and we still couldn't find anyone forever, so we had some more dead time, and I was worried the same thing happened last time would happen. So I don't know, at least for me, that's how it affects me on that kind of personal level, is trying to playing that band manager role or whatever else that I have to, I don't know, like I said, I get irritable when things don't work out, but that's the nature of things, they just won't work out, so I suck.
I think that those times when the band wasn't working so well, and like where we've had big periods where not a lot happened, or we go a couple weeks and we can't fit a jam in because of whatever conflicting schedules, no jam space at the time, whatever the problem is, it really makes me value when we do get this thing going consistently a lot more, because it's a good outlet. It's good to come every week and just fucking play some metal. And like, if you want to just lose your shit down in this basement, you can. And that's a nice thing to have in your life.
2.5 hours at a time.
Yeah, for as long as Alex's mom lets us.
Shout out to Alex's mom.
Yeah. Oh fuck.